I wanted to talk just a little bit about writing expectations. This is not a writing intensive course, but I find that even at the college level, a lot of us still are writing what we think somebody wants to hear. That's not good writing. One of my goals in the course is to coach you in your writing practices because it's going to benefit you in other scenarios. And for those of you who are teaching licensed folks and will have to do EdTPA or even wanting to go on to graduate programs, writing from your own voice what you think is actually what's important. If you haven't heard that in the past, whether high school or writing, whatever, I just want to give you some tips and pointers. So I've pulled up our first discussion just to give you a few things to think about. The first discussion, and you may want to look at the checkpoints before you go through the content that week. It's going to give you a good idea of what you want to think about and what you want to write about. It'll make writing easier because you know what you're looking for. So look at the checkpoint, look at the discussion. It's going to ask you to think about this like a compass point. So you have 4 prompts that you'll be asked to talk about. There's no length requirement, but at the same time, this is not a response where you want to say, for example, the first question says, what ideas or insights excite you about this based on what we've looked at so far? I do not want to see anyone say cultural competence, working with families, and doing my best to be aware of diversity. That's not even a sentence. That's not a response. What I want you to practice is writing in complete sentences, answering the prompt specifically, and then explaining more. So a good writing practice to think about is what ideas or insights excite you so far about the course. As you're going through the content, what do you come across that you go, ooh, this is cool. I want to do more with this. I want to know more about it. Jot down some notes. Once you craft that sentence, I am excited about, like you can keep it straight to the point. Tell me why. I am excited to learn more about cultural competence because I haven't done this in my coursework so far. Okay, so there's your why. Tell me a little bit more. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen this yet because it seems really important and I want to know more because I feel like it can make me a better practitioner. Whatever that further little explanation might be. I'm just giving you an example. Now here's a piece in the course that you'll discover pretty quickly. A lot of this is going to make you do some self-reflection, self-awareness, asking yourself some harder questions that some of you may have asked, some of you may have not, but you're going to come across some things, especially as we get into thinking about how family values may not align with where children are that you are working with, and how do you navigate that space, gender, race, all sorts of things that are going to come up that you're going to have to unpack what you believe on your own. And I want this to be a brave space because I can't guarantee what other people will say or do at any point in time. But I want you to feel that you can share your real concerns to the best of your ability so that we're able to talk to each other and provide resources and tools for us to leave the course being better at working with families than we were when we came into the course. So all that to say, I would hope each one of these prompts you would give a specific response to, and then tell me why, and then explain that why or an example. I'll provide some links about good academic or college level writing and critical thinking, because the key to that is really looking at this and saying, what are my assumptions about this topic before I walk into it? How is what I'm reading changing my assumptions? Is it hitting a nerve? Is it bothering me? Is it making me excited? Why am I reacting the way I am? These are all the kinds of things that I hope to see starting to spill out in your writing. So that's a little bit of structure but a little bit of what and how at the same time. If any of you have questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out. I will provide feedback on your writing too, because this is going to be the key for everything from EdTPA to writing papers and other courses, moving on to graduate school, applications, etc. So be sure to look at your checkpoints first so you can start jotting down some notes and think about how you want to respond. It's always good to reference something specific in our content that you came across in the article or the YouTube video about blah, blah, blah. So-and-so said, state what they said. This really hit me in the gut because I don't think I've thought about it that way before. Because of that, like, use examples from what you're going through in the content. And I don't expect a novel either, but every time you have a prompt to respond to, you should give answer the prompt, but tell us why and at least an example or unpack that just a bit. So I hope that's enough to get you started on the right track, but check your checkpoints first to see what you should be looking for. Make some notes while you go through the content. And last but not least, don't judge yourself, because writing is a process. And this isn't really about being graded on grammar and perfection as much as it is attempt and trying and authenticity. I really want to see what you are thinking in your head and not what you think I want to hear as the person who's leading the course. Let me know if you've got questions. You got this.